This year we are going to start selling tomato plants. We are planning on selling 100 tomato plants, and I have a video on how to make several $100s from selling tomato plants and tomatoes. So we need to germinate them, which we'll do downstairs in the basement or out here in the greenhouse, and then we need to get them out into the sun so they can grow healthy and strong. The problem with the greenhouse is it's full, and I don't want to be putting the plants where they're not going to get a lot of light. So what we're going to do is we're going to build seedling tables. So here on the south side of my greenhouse, I've got 12 feet of area that I've estimated that I will need to put 100 1-gallon pots. I have pre-cut my 36-inch long legs, as you can see here on the right, and my 18-inch long supports that will go across the grow box to support it. In addition to that, I have my 12-foot long 2x4s, which will span the distance with that, and will rest the free pallets I've gotten to build the seed tables. So let's get started. I've set my first two posts, one on the far end and one on the other end, put my 12-foot board across the top, and I know that everything is level because when I started the box and built the box, I built the box level. But if you want to check, you can put a level on here and make sure your table's level. To ensure that I keep all of the legs level, I put a string in between, and I'll just raise the top of the boards that I space out to the bottom of the string, and then I'll have everything level. I have my 4 evenly spaced 2x4 legs set up. They are 4 feet away from each other. I did have to remove some of the soil down by the bottom of the grow box because it's built up and was higher than the bottom of the grow box. So I actually need to come through and level that all out here in the greenhouse. Now that I have this done, it's time to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. On the opposite side, I went in the same distance from the end, which is about 3 inches, and then I used my 2-foot level to make sure that we were level on the top. Now that we're level, I'll go ahead and do the same to the other end. I've got all 8 legs in now. The level going from board to board across the grow box and from end to end 12 feet down. It's time to add the horizontal support. You can add it on edge like I have here or flat like this. I've decided to put my boards in like this. I've got the first 12-foot length support bar across the top. Now I'll just do the same on the other side. The frame is complete for the table. I've tested it, pushed, pulled, lifted, tugged. It is absolutely rock solid. I did decide to go 4 feet in between legs because I do have vegetables growing under there and I do need to get underneath there. Although if you wanted more support, you could go 3 feet between legs or whatever you'd like. Now it's time to put some pallets on top and finish the table. Over the last several months, I've collected several pallets and found that pallets vary quite widely. Here's a pallet that's about 4 foot by 4 foot, nice big heavy wood. Here's one that is more sparse in wood, and the wood isn't really in the best condition on the top and the bottom. Here's a much larger pallet with much less wood in it, which would make it difficult to put plant pots on it. This one also has lots of space in it and is a different size. This one is quite heavy and still has lots of space in it, not very good for putting pots on, but it is doable. This one was perfect. It was 36 inches wide and 4 feet long, which is exactly what I'm looking for. But that's only one out of all these pallets here, and I need at least 3 pallets and probably more to finish the project. So I was really disappointed in what I had here, but I came across something really cool. Plastic pallets. I came across this heavy-duty pallet, which I tried initially, but took a lot of cutting to get to fit. And found this one also in a dumpster, and this one fit perfectly. It's very lightweight because they stack inside of each other. It takes up very little space when I store it when I'm not using it. And the spacing on the supports is great for holding pots. So that's what I decided to use, is these lightweight, plastic, durable, free pallets. As you can see, they fit perfectly on top of the table platform I made. Yesterday we moved out all of the seedlings from downstairs in the basement. I really wanted to get these plants out into the sunlight. I think that'll make a big difference in how well they grow. Next to the seeding table, I have my 55-gallon drum, which is where we will mix the constant feed. For 55 gallons, we'll put in 1 pound of Mittleider weekly feed, dissolve that in the water, and then we feed that to the seedlings every day. We only give plants that are in the seedling production area the constant feed. The plants that are in the garden get Mittleider weekly feed in a granular format, and then we water it in when we apply it. I don't know for a typical garden if we need 12 feet of seedling production area, but since we are going to be selling tomato plants here in Idaho Falls area to help our neighbors get a good head start on well-established and grown tomato plants, we built the seedling production area. If you are in the Idaho Falls area and are interested in getting plants that have been carefully grown, meticulously taken care of, and are healthy, insect-free, and strong, been fed properly, given proper light, and so forth, we'll be selling these plants for $10, but we're only growing 100 of them. These two I transplanted into our garden this morning from pots that were in the seedling production area. These are typical plants that you'd be getting for $10. We've already pre-sold 25 of the 100, so if you're interested, please contact me as soon as possible to get your name on the list. We'll be selling our favorite tomato, which is the Big Beef, and our very favorite cherry tomato, which is the Sun Sugar. The Sun Sugar is like eating candy. It seems like most people are buying 2 or 3 Big Beef and 1 or 2 Sun Sugars. So if you're interested, just simply email me at ldsprepper@gmail.com. And make sure you put tomato plants in the subject line of the email. With such a short growing season here in Idaho, between 80 and 90 days for the entire season, it's great to get a nice strong head start on plants that are already 8 weeks old. We'll start planting our seedlings for sale on March 15th, and they'll be ready for pickup May 15th. This entire project took 5 12-foot lengths of 2x4s, and those were untreated lumber because they're not in the dirt. Each of those boards cost me $5.50, so for less than $30 I was able to build a seedling production area with some leftover screws from other projects and free plastic pallets from the dumpsters. So if you want to get into seedling production, sell plants or produce, or simply want a table and don't have a lot of space for it in your greenhouse, you may consider building this table in the existing space that you already have in your garden. This is LDS Prepper reminding you, if ye are prepared, you shall not fear. Learning how to grow seedlings successfully will dramatically extend your gardening season and literally allow you to produce twice as much food in the same amount of time with multiple harvests and multiple plantings in one season. For more information on the Mittleider gardening method, check the links below and view my other videos on seedling production and the Mittleider gardening method.